Good morning and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folari and my guest this morning, Comrade Nelson Ekujimi, human rights activist, public affairs analyst. As always, Comrade, it's great to see you.
Good morning. It's a pleasure being here with you.
Indeed. And, Honorable Babatunde Desmond Ojo, I don't know if the Honorable is a bit premature because he will be an Honorable, maybe he already is an Honorable,
Yes,
Honorable elect for Oriade constituency of Osun State. He's also an architect. Thank you very much for coming on.
Good morning, viewers. I'm glad to be here.
But you have already been an honorable before this new honorable.
Oh, no, I think I will be installed very soon.
Okay, honorable elect.
It's just honorable elect.
Assemblyman elect.
Yeah,
yes.
That's right.
You know,
that's right.
great to have you. Okay, so, I mean, tell me, what's the situation in, you're the ruling APC, right?
Yeah, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, when you say obvious, it's not obvious. It's not written anywhere.
That's real. That's for real. I'm of the APC.
Okay. Tell me what you feel. What are your thoughts about the latest in the sort of ping-pong affair going about the election? Of course, the governor is in place. No problem about that. But he's being challenged, and the saga the news that came out yesterday that, hang on, he's now been disqualified from the whole, what is that thing that the party elections. So he's been taken out of the race in the eyes of the law. He wasn't properly selected in the PDP primaries. What do you think?
Yeah, once again, good morning, viewers. My name's architect Babatunde Desmond Ojo. Two things during elections. There's pre-elections criteria for you to go into an elections.
Yes.
And as a party man, your party needs to present you to go for elections. And I think for the PDP candidate during the elections, the process was faulty, and that was why they went to court to challenge him if he's eligible or not.
Yeah, but it's something, first of all, comrade, how did it catch you too? Because this is sort of a twist. It's like a twist, something of a twist in the tale. Of course, there was the other matter that we're speaking about. PDP got that victory about 2 weeks ago, when it was
The tribunal.
The tribunal, the Elections Petition Tribunal, and he was declared the winner, even though it wasn't a unanimous decision, but it was convincing majority decision.
Yeah.
So INEC has been ordered to issue him with a certificate of trust, right?
Yeah.
So here we are now, along the way. That's a separate case. And then, by the way, this one that had been filed back in September by two APC men, Wahab Warahim and Adam Habib, suddenly now comes up. And by the way, the whole, no, I won't go as far as calling it the rest. I'm not a lawyer. Let us leave all those legal terms for lawyers. But a main central planker said, by the way, he's not even properly selected. He shouldn't have represented the PDP in the first instance.
Yes, thank you very much. I think we must make a clear distinction. Issues that has to do with election matters go before the tribunal. That's the Election Petition Tribunal. Pre-election matters go before the ordinary courts. That is why you have seen that, his disqualification by a court yesterday was not from the tribunal. And, I don't think the process was faulty. What really happened there was that somebody tried to be smarter than the law, because the law prescribes the qualification for a candidate to aspire into respective offices. And under Section 177 of the 1999 Constitution, you must have attained a secondary school education. But
which Senator Adeleke claimed to have.
Senator Demola Adeleke claimed to have. But from the findings of the court, which was the premise at which it arrived at that judgment yesterday, the court said he presented a fake certificate to INEC. So, in the eyes of the law, he has committed perjury.
Well, the fake certificate, why it's being called a fake certificate is that it's different from that.
It differs from what the principal of the school.
The one that was presented by the principal of Ede Muslim High School in Osun State.
Definitely.
So,
definitely.
How can it be different? How can your principal's documentation be different from the ones that you have and that you submitted to INEC?
No, it means, you are trying to be clever. I don't think by half, maybe by more than a quarter of a mile. But be that as it may, one expects that he will go to the Court of Appeal
Of course.
to challenge this judgment.
As much as misstated.
Yes, but I also, this is an avenue for us, to call on the Nigerian police, acting on this judgment, to file charges for page, because the certificate he presented to INEC, he presented it on oath, which means in the eyes of the law, he lied. And that is why the court arrived at that judgment. If the certificate he presented with, the certificates presented by the school authorities had been the same, there would have been no case, there would have been no reason, to disqualify him. And the court was very, very clear in asserting that, the certificate Senator Demola Adeleke presented was a fake one, which differed. If your certificate differs from what is in the hands of your school, then it means you have committed an act which is against the laws of the land.
You must have at least a secondary school certificate before, according to the Constitution.
Yeah.
And that's where the judge, Justice Othman Musa, determined that he had violated Section 177 of the Constitution. I don't know. The matter before the court is before the court. No, they will no doubt appeal. They usually want to use all the avenues available to them. But I don't know if this I don't know how appropriate it is to even talk about what we are discussing at all. Homework, isn't there homework? Isn't there vetting? If whatever the party, usually there are vettings. You've just told us you're an architect, you present yourself, that you therefore are competent to handle certain jobs. One would have expected that we would need to verify that indeed you do know enough about architecture to take on the board. So I don't know. The regulations are regulations. Whether you don't need a school certificate or not is another question altogether. But regulations are regulations. And now the contention is that whatever the problems or whatever the issues are at the petition tribunal, election petition tribunal, which Comrade, thankfully, you sort of explained, that's election matters.
Different, yeah.
But now looking at the very, very substance of the matter, I don't know, sometimes I like the way the law goes, the entity of the matter, the person, after all, who is the person involved? It now turns out that quaint legal phraseology, unknown to law, that nothing happened in the eyes of the law. So that's the situation that we're in now. I wonder how, and we don't have a lawyer, it would have been nice to have a lawyer. I wonder how this now affects everything.
No, Yori.
Let him just take a stab at it.
I think it's only ethical when the law says something for you to follow it properly. The law says that for you to vie for the position of a governor of a state, you should have a minimum qualification, which is the SSC, the WAEC result. And obviously, the so-called candidates of the PDP in the state of Osun elections,
the PDP candidate.
The PDP candidate, doesn't have that because he submitted something different from what the principal of the secondary school, of the claimed of his secondary school submitted. So it's clear in the face of the law. I'm not a lawyer, but it's only ethical for you to compare notes. That this man submitted something, and the principal who is in charge of the files, who is in charge of the results of the school, said, oh, this is what this man got during his exams. So it's only ethical for him to just say, fine, that was what I got. Maybe there was an error somewhere, and he should just back out. In the face of the law, you just said something. You know, during elections, you submit your certificate and all of that to INEC. And INEC does do right the school's concern to verify that. But you know, in Nigeria, we do have a situation whereby we're just coming into the internet era where you have computer responding to information immediately. And maybe there was a delay somewhere for INEC to have found out, because you know elections are such that they're timetable and there are limits to where you can submit your qualifications and all of that. I think the time frame was short, and maybe INEC couldn't have confirmed that. But that is why we have the court.
I want to even, thank you very much. I want to even as I said, we're not lawyers. This has happened. They will appeal. So it's really something else. But maybe it does give us the opportunity to speak on the processes in these political parties, especially in the primaries. People can't put themselves forward. The parties must put them forward.
Definitely.
So without commenting on the merits or otherwise of the case, shouldn't there be some sort of screening so that very, very basic things like this don't come back to bite you in the end? I'm talking across all the parties, and perhaps maybe in responding, I don't know, this whole situation with PDP having allowed, and here I'm going by what the judge said, that PDP haven't allowed Senator, Adeleke, now Senator Adeleke, to be on its ticket. Maybe other parties too, as what is the word to use now? Is it cavalier? Is it lax? But whatever the criteria are, you X, Y, Z, we have voted you without looking at other aspects.
I think...
Is it PDP alone?
I think this should be a wake-up call to all the political parties.
Yes,
that when their aspirants jostle for position to represent the party for whatever offices, that it is important for the parties themselves to put in place mechanism that will verify, the authenticity of documents submitted. Don't forget, the political parties, they are not security agencies. And I doubt if the parties had approached the school, if the school would have obliged them that information. But be that as it may, it tells you the quality of people involved in our politicking. That some of them are not men of honor and character.
Even before we go there, sir, the producer is just, whispering into my ear that, oh, by the way, that same qualification will also serve for the part of the requirements to be a senator. So what happens to his
yes.
senatorship?
Senatorship, yes.
If the judge said, I take the view, this court takes the view that it never happened because this man was never properly selected.
It could be that the certificate is submitted for when he contested the senatorship differs from what is submitted, when he contested. No, it could be. I don't know. So let us assume
it could have submitted the
something
original.
Different. It could have submitted, maybe for the senatorship, maybe the qualification is primary school education, which I'm sure is not.
It is secondary.
It is secondary
certificate at least.
Yes. But as be that as it may,
So he's already a senator.
He's already a senator.
He's a sitting senator.
So
this matter was not brought up.
Yes.
And if this case hadn't come to light, we wouldn't have known that there are two different certificates. One with the principal of the Ede Muslim High School. Is that Ede Muslim High School?
Yeah.
And one with the distinguished senator himself.
We have a saying that if you want people to tell you where your mother gave birth to you, aspire for public office. So if people are blowing the whistle on you, that look, this man, okay, for example, as I'm sitting down here, I had a friend that we both attended university together. And at a point in time, he sent a message to me that he was aspiring to be a House of Representatives member. And I told him that if I see your logo, your name on any party's logo, I'll be the first person to come out because I know you inside out, except if you have gone to a religious institution and, you have a certificate of being a born again. And people can attest to, because
apart from that, you have no certificate.
You don't have the pedigree to be saddled with public office.
And I think I'm very happy where this conversation is going, because that is the point that I'm seeking to make this morning. The way our representatives are selected across the board. Let this Mr. Senator Adeleke case, let it sort itself out. We'll be there to cover it. But the way all of the parties go about selecting their candidates, do they cut corners, Desmond?
I wanted to go
back.
back.
They cut corners?
Yeah, let me go back to the first question you asked. My party, I can speak for my party, the APC. We do thorough investigation of our candidates, of our aspirants, because I can speak for myself. During my aspiration, we did screening from the ward level to the local government to the constituency. as well as to the state. So I'm sure of the APC will do thorough a background check as well as investigation of all our candidates. And
Well, it's just that you would say that, being an APC.
no,
man. You would say
no,
that.
the truth of the matter is that I've been an aspirant since 2011. I was an aspirant for the post of House of Rep to represent the good people of Obukonya District, Federal Constituency. Same in 2015. Now I am the honorable elect for Uriade State Constituency. So it's a thorough process. And I trust my leaders. They will even tell you about yourself, getting to them, trying to market yourself to them.
Okay.
That's for the APC.
So you're saying you say you trust your party on that?
Yeah. My party does that regularly. And back to your question, going forward, I think we need to start checking ourselves. You know, it's only thing for you to represent your people, you need to be equal to the task. One, education is key. Because what are you going to be doing on the floor of the house or being a governor? You are going to be the administration of people in terms of
we can take all of this for granted.
You know,
all of this is so straightforward. As you say, you just need to be, educated.
You just have to be.
But he is a sitting senator now, and nobody knows that Senator Adeleke is the only one. It's just that he is the guy the X-ray is on right now. Really? And that's the larger conversation that I'm looking for beyond this. Do we know what's going on? And it goes back to how we select those. Because oftentimes once your leader or your party puts you forward, you're going to go. Now, Senator, Adeleke, Ademola Adeleke, he's in there. And until this whole thing happened, nobody was bringing up whether or not he's competent. I don't even know if it is going to be relevant now itself, because people can say that, as we've heard in a different context, leave him, he's our thief. Leave him, he's our thief.
Well, the laws of the land is very, very clear on issues like this. There are provisions of the law that you cannot just sweep aside. Largely, I think we as a society, we
can't sweep them aside, but the point, sir, is that perhaps, and this is the question, perhaps they are being swept aside, and it takes something like this to, as it were, to bring it up.
Yes.
As the Yoruba people would say, this thing that you have buried, look at the leg there.
Yes.
The leg is showing.
No,
it is only now that it is showing.
Yes, it is very true, and that is where I want to admit that we have all failed. Because a lot of times candidates come up for elections, we don't give a damn. We're only concerned with who emerges as the governor and maybe the president. Who emerges as the senator, who emerges as the House of Assembly, who emerges as the House of Reps member or the local government chairman, we are less bothered. And these are people who emerge from within our community.
But when you say we are less bothered, we the electorate.
As an electorate, yeah.
But maybe that's because you trust whoever party from PRP to AMPP to APC to PDP to have done the necessaries, and so they would never, maybe is the way you think of it, they would never present a defective candidate.
No, they are people, those parties are organs that are peopled by human beings. And in human engagement, we have the good, the bad, the ugly. So even as non-party members, we hold the society that responsibility of saying, you want to present this candidate?
Okay.
I know him. I know him.
Okay.
Raise that alarm, which a lot of us are not. I just gave you a visit, and luckily for me.
But you don't raise that kind of. Let's keep it real. Yeah. You don't raise that kind of alarm in this environment because they say it is jealousy. Look at the situation. I know it's almost a petty point, but it is the way we are. People don't want to say it like it is. People don't want to say it like it is. They would prefer someone else did the quote-unquote dirty work because that is seen as dirty work. So let the party do its dirty work. It didn't. You were just talking about your colleague, your friend, half jokingly, that if you dare, I will be the first person to blow a whistle because I know stuff about you. I don't think very many people that know stuff about elected members would have felt very safe to come out when they could have to say, absolute fraud. This man cannot be standing for this office. is it done in our locale?
Funny enough,
Give
it's
me
it's
your
done.
thoughts.
It's done.
You
Because,
think it's done?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
think
it's
it's
done
done?
because I've experienced it.
Or people come out and
and they do
well,
come
let
out.
it be said. After all, Wahab Rahim and Adam Habib of APC, they started this thing back in September 2018 when they took the man to court, took the senator to court.
Yeah.
So to an extent,
Before the elections.
yes, before the elections.
Yeah.
Before the
Yeah,
elections.
so that's the confirmation that
So
it's,
that's the
it's
kind
been
of
done.
thing that
Yeah.
he's saying that needs to be done some more.
More
And it's
before
as a
the-
result
yeah.
of their action
That this has come
That's
up.
that
leading
this
to
has
this,
come
yeah.
about. But is it the common thing to do? I mean, is the right thing to do?
Is the right
Yeah,
thing
it's
to
the right
do.
thing
It's the
to
right
do.
thing
But
to
I
do,
can
yeah.
confirm to you that it's been done at the local level. You know, politics is all about grassroots. You start from being a councillor to being a local government
But that's
chairman.
where the
and
Omowani syndrome really
that's
is
that's
strong.
not a statement of fact. The truth of the matter is
He's
that
ours. He's
in
our son.
locality,
She's our daughter.
No,
Manage here.
no. In our locality,
Find something for her. Find something for him. This is language that we're all used to.
in our locality, you know, in progressive, we will have ideals. In the APC, I can confirm to you that that is being done thoroughly, right from the bottom. Yeah, proper checking is being done. Because in my locality, for example, for us to present you as a councillor to represent my ward, we must know that you have the Omoluabi ethos. Not to talk of you to represent us as a chairman of the local government. Because your responsibility is for your people. And in doing that, they must see you as someone who is being upright and who was brought up properly. You know,
that is
so
in your
it's-
party.
yeah, my party does that
Omoluabi
regularly.
ethos is not in the constitution anyway.
It's not in the constitution,
It's
but
not. So
it's in our party
it's a
constitution.
subjective thing.
Yeah.
One man's Omoluabi might not be
Not
another
be-
man's Omoluabi.
Yeah.
But Emmanuel in Abuja, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Okuyori.
Thank you for calling in.
Thank you. Please, I want to add my view to what you're discussing over there this morning.
Sure.
I think I want to digress a little. In my own opinion, the general failure is in the hands of the state SSS. I'm aware before you contest for any political office in Nigeria, you need a clearance from the Department of State Security Services.
Okay.
How come the state security services, with all their capacity, we are unable to detect the fact that he tendered a wrong certificate? That's one. Number two, there is a police institution in the state of Osun. How come none of them was in the know of this saga that they are putting Nigeria through this pain and shame at this point in time? Number three, the party for which he contested with is a very broad, wide party, PDP. You cannot tell me that the legal department of PDP in the state of Osun cannot be aware of this fact before they presented him for election in the state of Osun. So which means they all connived in that state to present him. So if going forward, I think the DSS, the police, and the party should be held culpable in this matter, not just Adeleke. To me, if I am given the privilege, I wouldn't say Adeleke is even the saint in this matter, because the people that have thrown Nigeria into this shameful act is these three institutions that I have just mentioned, because they own us the duty to carry out a diligent background check on this particular candidate before he was presented to INEC.
Indeed.
So that is my opinion.
Thank you very much for contributing it, Emmanuel. I saw that you were nodding in approval
Yes,
at
yes,
most of
yes,
what you were
yes,
saying. Same
very,
thing
very
with
true,
you.
very
You know,
true.
because it goes back to the point I made that I wanted to make that when all other things are equal, when a candidate emerges, you assume, you take that as a shortcut to assume so many other points based on what Emmanuel has just shared.
Have been crossed.
Yes, then you just imagine all those boxes have been ticked.
Yes.
So the fact that we today, 2019, in the Federal Republic, our beloved country, the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I don't know if it's a mistake yet because the thing is still being contested. So we have come to an incident such as this, where people are now arguing or having a conversation about whether or not that senator had a certificate. That senator started school in 76. By 1980, his name was not on the register. He just dropped out of the register. How can these kind of things be coming up in the face of all these security agencies and all that kind of a thing? It goes back to the rules are one thing, but how we do our things is another.
Well,
We go about things in our own way. Never mind the rules. The rules are there, and nobody's going to say what I'm saying out loud.
yes.
Nobody's going to say that out loud. Say, never mind the rules. It's a matter of, can you just look away?
It's an indictment.
Did I hear Mr. Atonda is in Oshogbo? Good morning, Mr. Atonda.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Hello, good morning.
Go quickly ahead, please. Quickly.
I'm watching your program on the TV. It's about this Adeleke certificate saga. Hello.
We can hear you.
It's unfortunate in this our environment. Our appeal to sentiment in our political process is a serious thing. That's the level the court judgment indicates the level we are condescended to in our political choice. In the state of Osun, we have a lot of brilliant people in any of the party that you want to mention. In PDP, we have so many guys there, fantastic guys, accomplished guys. Even if we are looking at equivalent certificates, we have so many fantastic guys in the PDP. Even we are limiting to Ede, we have so many fantastic guys in Ede.
So why weren't any of those fantastic guys chosen at the time?
That is the question that we are asking ourselves. The PDP that submitted Adeleke's name should ask that question. And apologize to the state of Osun for propelling Adeleke that an insult and embarrassment to all. The speakers wrote WAEC in 1994. The sponsor of the WAEC was a pop-up chinchin seller in 1994. That is the only WAEC I have. So if I am now in the sun, queuing up to vote for somebody that his father was a city senator in 1981, he was unable to write the same WAEC I wrote in 1994 as a sitting apart. Everywhere my record resides, I have the same single WAEC of 1994. It was a chinchin seller that sponsored that education. If a senator of Nigeria Republic could not follow somebody to pass WAEC, it's unfortunate. When people are not voting, we should check ourselves and know what we are voting for.
Yeah.
This is a very serious matter. This is what we should be looking at. It is not about whether PDP is bad or APC is bad or whatever. When we want to propel something to the state of responsibility and executive position, it's a place where you should look up to somebody there. I want to be there. If you are in the school system or if you go to school, you say somebody, where are you? What education do you have? I want to be governor too. So now if somebody was opportune to be trained by the people that have enough to train children, was unable to make good use of that opportunity and get the basic education of senior school certificate or the Form 5, whatever they call it then, it's so unfortunate. It's so unfortunate. So please, the PDP should just apologize to the state of Osun and stop this idea of saying we are appealing. Because the case is not about trying to play around technicalities of law. It's about the integrity, the admittance of the candidate himself. He said, I failed. The candidate said he failed WAEC. He never accepted any good, any subject that he passed. He tendered a certificate that he failed all the subjects. He attended one subject.
Okay then, Mr. Atonda, I see there's a whole lot there. But thank you very much for contributing it. Because where we're looking at, we started with Senator Adeleke. Yeah, he started it all. But we're not extending it. Is it only Senator Adeleke? He's in the spotlight now.
Because
but if you were to put the spotlight on individual members in the National Assembly,
even in all our elected public
in all our elected, put
offices.
the searchlight on them. Only God knows how many of them would come out of it clean. Some, they're already doctors, they're already lawyers, so you can use that as a shortcut. So that's the point I'm saying. You're an architect. I can use that as a shortcut to know that forget the school certificate thing. The man is an architect. Forget that he's a lawyer. Forget that he's a doctor. But sometimes it's not exactly clear, and we therefore, because you have become a senator or a representative or an assemblyman, we're going to assume that somebody has done the needful such as I think it was Emmanuel from Abuja was explaining,
I think
we've been let down.
It's just a pointer that we all have to look inwards. We need to check.
Sorry, sir. It's influence. It's the influence thing. If this candidate is favored, this particular capo, this particular baba, or this particular power block will put him in there. Is it not a fact?
That's what I just said. We just need to look inwards. We need to check our security agencies, and we need to check the SSS, the police, and all of that to do what they are meant to do. They need to look inwards. Now we need to start properly.
Even the police are Nigerians. Even the political parties,
the political parties themselves have a responsibility to ensure that they put up credible men of honor and character for public office.
They will tell you that they are fully aware of that
you
responsibility.
See, what this has even shown us,
I didn't get to be leader here.
Is a reflection of how low we have sunk as a people. Because
wait, you come and develop that point. But John in Calabar, good morning. Morning, John.
Hello.
Hello, John in Calabar.
Yes,
John. Good morning, sir.
Calabar. Morning, Mr. Yori.
Go ahead, please.
And your panelists there.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Thank you very much. I've been listening to the conversation. I think this whole issue didn't start today. It's a terrible one. The last caller made an important point, and the point was that we keep choosing the worst of us. We remember in 1999 when a speaker went with a forged stolen certificate. It didn't start today. We also had in Lagos where a governor spent 8 years with a fake Chicago certificate. We have an issue today, now Adeleke in Osun. We have another one, a terrible one, also happening in Ogun State. The guy who won for the party in Ogun State, the APC candidate. He was on another TV station some weeks back and was asked which school did he attend. He said University of Ife. He did a BA in accounting. BA accounting? And they asked him, BA accounting? He couldn't defend himself. So when we continue like this, Nigeria will never grow. It's sad. It's sad. For some of us, when we listen to this thing, it's so sad. Look at the issues I've mentioned.
But that BA accounting something. I'm hearing some people say, but he has to start now.
Yeah, but he presented the accounting, the same thing Adeleke did. Adeleke went to school. He failed. He has F9 in 7 subjects and had a P8 in Yoruba. In Eden. That was we saw the result now. The one the people.
If this weren't serious, it would be funny. If this wasn't very serious, it would be funny actually.
Yes, he now presented the one he had AA1, a fake AA1. That's the same problem we had. Somebody said he went to Chicago University. Chicago said we don't even know. He spent 8 years and left the office. Walking around today, we have the Toronto man too, who has to go back to school again. So it's terrible. So when the APC man there from Osun was talking about, it's across party. The last speaker made the point. Some of that pain when we sit down and see these clowns going around controlling us at the National Assembly. Adeleke has spent 4 years. He will soon lead the Senate.
Sure.
And what has happened?
All right.
The fake result. It's painful. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for calling in. Because, you can realize what's happened. With the Senator Adeleke case, we put it to one side. Yeah, there's very precious little that we can say more about it. But it does point us to other aspects of our lives and how we fix things. I guess that's it. Yeah. We just fix things. If it's a problem, people will say to you, it's not a problem. And Nigeria, we have this expertise of making problems go away. What is it? The educational qualification thing? Don't worry about it. Well, until now it is showing that you need to worry about those things. Yes. But we don't know how many other people
Yes, like I was developing a point when you called.
Oh, yes.
It could not be out of place that discrepancy that has just been pointed out by the court judgment could have been noticed by somebody in the party. But this, leave that in. You keep quiet.
Either leave that thing, or it is not from my mouth that you will hear that
it could also be
the
that
teacher's mother is a
even
witch.
The security agencies, that this thing was, became manifest to them, that somebody conspired somewhere and said, look, this is what the man has done for us, that there could be a conspiracy. So that's another angle we should look at it from. It could rather be dereliction of duty.
Yeah, that's why I said that we need to start.
That's what I said. I said it's a demonstration of how low we have sunk as a people. Because, for example,
you're saying it is low. It is a culture. Look, Nelson, I'm saying I'll send my little boy to you. Find something for him. But he doesn't qualify. Nelson, he's your son now. Yes, he's your son. See what you can do for him.
Very true.
are you going to say what you are saying right now on this television program? Wait, no, this is what is finishing us in this country.
You look like a fool.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good morning, sir. Yakub in Dokwemu.
Yeah. Good morning, Judiciary.
Thank you for your patience and holding
on.
on.
Good morning to Honorable and Mr. Kujiri.
Sure.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, Judiciary, you see, I disagree with the Honorable in the studio.
Which part of what aspect?
Yeah,
he's not honorable yet. He's assemblyman elect. He's assemblyman elect.
Yes, it's incoming one. See, I disagree with him by saying that APC always do the diligence and then be able to screen all their aspirants.
That's the one you want to disagree with.
Yes,
that's the one you want to disagree with. Go ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead and disagree.
Yes, I can tell you it's cut across the party. Today, as you said earlier, if you put your flashlight in that National Assembly or sit up as assembly, you will see something like this. You cannot rule out the corruption in this case. What happened to the people in the party that screened Adeleke? I can tell you, he has the money to find his way out. He bribed them, and then they screen him, and then they say that it's okay.
You don't know that for sure.
You can't
speculation.
Okay. If you say I don't know that for sure, how come?
Unless you were the broker. No, if you were the go-between.
Sijori, let me just make my point. How come he become a senator for the first instance? I think, Sijori, we need to do the diligence in this country.
Yeah.
This Adeleke of a thing, it deprives some people that have this very particular certificate, and then they are very so qualified. More than him, he makes sure that he bribed his way out. I will applaud one of them.
No. You can't be saying these things.
Yes. Okay,
that is speculation.
Let me withdraw that statement. Okay. But let me say this. I will applaud somebody to go to court as well. If it is true that the court says that he has no this thing, somebody from state of Osun need to go to court to make sure that all the allowances that have been taken as a senator, he's supposed to return it. Because if we keep it going the same way, I can tell you tomorrow somebody somewhere will get he attended Harvard University, and then meanwhile he did not go there.
Yeah.
And then he become whatever he wants to become in this country. And then who Senator Adeleke now? In that National Assembly, I'm stand to be corrected. I've never seen him stand up and make any contribution in that National Assembly.
But I'm sure. Come on. Apart from the National Assembly, no doubt you've seen other pictures or other videos of him. I mean,
I've seen his picture, like in good dancing and whatever. That is not only what we need in this country. All these are senators. That is why we are today, because they are not giving us a very good constitution in order for us to make headway in this country. Because if somebody uses that kind of certificate, we are not going anywhere. Thank you, God bless you.
Can I just put a word?
Thank you very much, Yakub. Please.
If I think Yakub is not a member of the APC or is not a politician, I can say for a fact that my party in my own constituency would do due diligence. You know, because the truth about that is that you can speak for yourselves. You can't speak. You can't speak for. I can't speak for you.
You see, when you made that statement, Honorable Elect,
yes,
it was a bit careless that Yakub is not a member of APC. The man is a die-hard APC man.
No. He was of the opinion that it's not a statement of fact, but I can tell him from an insider that that's a statement of fact.
Okay.
I won't lie about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can't have, because, well, you PDP, you APC people, sometimes you argue among yourselves. In fact,
even in homes, you do argue. So it's democracy.
Yes,
so you need to argue to reach an agreement, you know.
Yes. But the point is, don't want to be stuck with Senator Adeleke. He already has his issues. But the more important thing is that who Senator Adeleke is indicative of in all elective positions, Nigeria being what it is. I think that's the larger conversation. And if anybody were to have the wherewithal to now just put this beam of truth on the way, by the time we remove all the professionals in politics, those who have already had a profession before arriving in politics, by the time we remove all of that, I don't know how many of them are actually in the National Assembly, I would suspect that people who are well connected one way or the other, connection isn't always money, but money is a tremendous part of it. Those people, those are the people that are going to be in all of these places. They are recommended by somebody, they are preferred by somebody, and I guess there's nothing new, there's nothing strange about that. But let people at least do it with a certain form of dignity. If I'm going to send my boy to you, let me at least do you the favor of making sure he has the requirements.
Definitely.
Then I know the job
and
is
let him go
easier.
through the process.
But our people don't worry about requirements.
And
in fact, look at what they're going to start. I'm going to send your son to you. You know, my son.
Yes,
that's the language.
He is my son.
I'm sending your son to you. I'll send him to you to. Anyway, I want you to. This is
That is your son.
Everybody in this country, from Kauram and Nomada to here, they know about it. There's someone on the line where I'm tackling on. Evangelist Joe, good morning. In Agbara.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, everybody there.
Good morning.
So
Good morning, sir.
this question of qualification for public office holders, would you like to comment on that?
Yes, I would like to comment on it because it's a serious issue in this our country. In any country where you don't see fruits, where you don't see genuity, the country is bound to be destroyed. We follow everything happening in the country today. Look at Adeleke, somebody that has spent years in the Senate, and the court is coming out that this person does not have school certs. Is very, very shameful. It's a disgrace to the country. Then the same thing goes to so many other parties. In the court now, Atiku is bringing the same case against our president, which I don't know whether it is true, but it's only God knows. I will like us to still hammer that same issue the same way we are hammering Adeleke. Because if we don't face the truth, we are destroying the country, whether it's my father or your father or anybody. Let us call a spade a spade. We should make sure that our president will be very sure to present his own facts, just like this Adeleke. If Adeleke does not have his own, he should go to jail. I am not standing for any party. Let us say the truth.
Okay.
Truth is
So,
what will be this
Evangelist, emphasizing the importance of this is what that this is very, very important. Thank you very much for calling in, Evangelist.
I think we must make one clarification with regards to what Evangelist. Why we're able to talk about this morning is because the court has made a pronouncement.
Exactly.
But with regards to Atiku against the president, it's still before the tribunal. A pronouncement had not been made. So it will be sub judice for us to be discussing that matter from now. We must get that very, very clear.
But the court has made a pronouncement here. And
Yes.
even the pronouncement that the court has made, the party it was made against, they're not just going to roll over. They're pursuing it.
Yes.
They're contending it.
Yeah.
Yes,
In their
yes.
state
There are other,
The
there are
grounds for their
options.
contention we'll see. In
Yeah.
fact, I think the lawyer Okay has already said that the matter has been decided. He's very unhappy with this decision because it's been decided before. But you see, this is society for you. There are rules of engagement, there are rules, there are regulations, and so. But there's also the truth,
Yes.
which often everybody can see. But we sometimes want to befuddle with all these rules and these regulations, and then we spend a lot of time. But I suppose it's better than war,
Yeah,
because the alternative.
You see, the rules does not have. That's why if you see the image of the judiciary, it's the face is covered, so it does not know whether you are a man or a woman, whether you are tall or black. The rule is the rules. The rule says for you to aspire to be a governor,
Yes.
you must have attained a secondary school education. So for somebody who didn't have that, from the pronouncement of the court, it tells you clearly that the people have been taken for a ride.
Okay, Larry in is it Jos? Good morning, Larry in Jos.
Yes, good morning.
Thank you for calling in. Go ahead, please.
Okay. My little contribution is just about the certificate that we are even using in this country.
Okay.
Fine. Secondary school is what they recommended. But
As the
myself,
base minimum,
base minimum.
you can be a
base
professor
minimum.
too.
Yes, we have a lot of people that have a better certificate that they are not allowed to get into that kind of office because of this lordship of a thing in political parties. Because I have money, because I'm well influential, I want to lord myself on the party. That is what is affecting most people. Look at it this way. Before I can get a job of 200,000 naira, I need to present a master degree certificate. And somebody that doesn't have secondary school is telling me that he wants to become a senator or a governor or a president. It's really, really painful to the graduates in Nigeria.
We are sad about that. That's just my little contribution.
Okay, I interrupted you. Sorry, yes.
Yeah, that's not bad. I like his submission. I think we need to look inwards. Fine, the rule says minimum of secondary school education, but the rule does not say you should have 5 credits. I think that was why I said we need to look inwards and we need to start checking our systems all over again. You know, we need to go from saying this is rule, but this is another addition to the rule. You know, the rule for now is saying that you must have a minimum qualification of secondary school. But we need to look inwards and say, with this, for you to contest for this position, you should have a minimum qualification of, say, 1st degree, so that we can start to opt our game. By one, because politics or governance is all about service delivery. And how can a secondary school graduate coordinate the affairs of a state of over 3-4 million people?
Well,
we need to start looking into all of that.
And
that is why...
Wait, one has to be careful.
Yeah.
Those guys who framed the Constitution, you and I might think that you need a master's degree at least to be able to cut this kind of a thing. There are those who will say, cut this kind of a thing. There are those who will say, no, first degree is enough. There are those, look, I don't know, unless I don't have any quarrel.
It's debatable. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That we need to look into it.
If you're a school search holder, come and contest, right up to professor. Even if the society is anything like you are thinking, if they had the options between a school search holder, a master's, and a PhD, they likely might go for the master's or PhD. But life doesn't work like that, as you and I know. Who was it the other day they say dropped out of Harvard and was it not the Facebook founder or something like that? He dropped out of Harvard.
So today is successful.
That's just a ridiculous example of what I was saying. So the framers probably knew what they were doing when they gave that range. But it's not just education alone. There are other things that you take for granted. For instance, you have to be a Nigerian.
Yeah.
And that will either come from one of 2 places, either from being born a Nigerian or from Nigerian parentage. Are you sure that you could beam everybody in all these offices and everybody would come out clean, clear, genuine, 18 karat Nigerian? Or is it 21 karat? 21 karat is the purest form. 22 karat.
You can't rate that. You can't rate being a Nigerian. You're
22 karat. So pure. You know. What? Tunde Najegula, I'm told. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
How are you today?
Very well, thank you. Go ahead quickly, please.
Yes. Number one, some years back, INEC will disqualify people who do not have relevant documents.
Okay.
But the powers that be at that material time changed the narrative and removed that power from INEC, from removing people who are not qualified during that era. That is what, number one, that is disturbing us now. If that thing still remains, INEC will have seen that thing. INEC cannot disqualify anybody presented by any party. That is the rule. Number two, the fact remains that the case of Adeleke is this man can win because he's not that he's qualified. They know he's not qualified. He had a duel with a professor who went to court and said this man is not qualified. But everything was put down because of money. It's sellable situation. If you are not sellable, you cannot win. That is the case with that man. So we need to change our narratives. We need to change so many things.
Thank you. Thank you very much for calling in. Appreciate your call. Appreciate your call. He brought out another of those things that probably aren't too much out there. How leaders sometimes make their decisions. Because it was said that, of course, his late brother, you know, he was... Isaka. Yes, Isaka. He was the first in there. Yeah. And this caller has just alluded to the fact that he could win if you piggyback on that. The sentiment.
Yes, yes.
That sentiment of the proprietor of his brother.
Yes.
So, therefore, some elders got together and put on their thinking caps, and since elections are all about victory, say, this is the
Whatever
man that's
it
going
takes.
to win.
Yes.
This man can win us this ticket.
Yes.
And so sometimes leaders make decisions like that.
Yes.
And keep their fingers crossed, hoping they can get away with it. Until, unfortunately, this one is not allowing.
It goes a long way to show that even if you're being sentimental, you should still do what you have to do. Because the position, like I said earlier, the position of being a governor or representing your people, it's very important. It's germane to the development of this country.
Yes.
So even if you can be sentimental, but let your sentiment be guided by rules and regulations.
Okay, okay, you have said so. But I want to hear you tell that particular argument to a family member when, in a family setting. You know how it goes. But let me quickly bring in Mr. George. I'll come back to you. Good morning, Mr. George.
Good morning, Uncle Yori, and good morning to your guest.
Thank you for
calling.
Good
morning, sir.
Uncle Yori, what has happened is what one can call dog eating dog. When a few days ago, when the court pronounced Adeleke as the governor, what did I call to say? I said it was a Dubai judgment.
Yes, you did say so.
Only a few days later, the table has turned around. What does that tell you, Uncle Yori? Everybody is in judgment. If you try to undo me, before you know it, you're already also undone. So now what he has found himself is even more critical than the one he tried to cause to another person. You didn't win an election. Why don't you just let it go? You are going around, wanting to claim it at all costs. Now,
the only part I have a problem with, Mr. George, is
this
is the second time you've referred to a Nigerian court's judgment as Dubai judgment.
Yes, the reason why
it's distressing me.
Yes, the reason why I said so, Uncle Yori, is that judgment was an agenda that was planned at a Dubai meeting, and that agenda is still on. I can stand and tell you.
According to reports, right, Mr. George? According to reports.
Yes, verifiable reports. Uncle Yori, maybe you do not know this. There are some people that have tape of that meeting. Yes, that if the matter comes to matter, it can be presented.
All right, but
so I know what I'm saying.
Okay.
If you lose an election, simply relax and try again. You didn't even qualify in the first place. Uncle Yori, this goes to show the quality of laws that we make in our country. The president has been rejecting many bills. People think that he doesn't want those laws to be made, but they don't know the nitty-gritties of those laws. These are the kind of people that are making such laws. What kind of a law can this man make? Just tell me. If you go to the...
they will say, sir, they will say, judge not.
No, but the truth remains the truth, whether it sounds judgmental or not. The truth is that if what I'm saying, is it false? Can it prove that it is false? That is only when you can call it judgmental. So what I was trying to say, Uncle Yori, is that you go to American Congress. I've been privileged to see there, to go and see what they do there. Only accomplished people can you find, and they call the person a senator, or they call the person a congressman.
Yes.
They are highly honored because you can screen and screen and you can't find anything. And the laws they make, each representative, each congressman has a team of workers, research people who research things for him to present in the House. They don't just, they are, sound mind.
But we provided constituency allowance for our own people too, to do this to set up this kind of thing.
Illegal constituency allowance. If the constituency allowance is not in our constitution, they formulated it. It's a way of looting our funds. And when the time comes, they will refund the money. This man, the money has been collecting from the Senate. He should refund it like he has.
Okay, Mr. George, thank you very much. We always and nobody has ever implemented that. We've had instances.
No, the court gave a judgment with regards to the House of Representatives member from Benue. I've forgotten his name, that the court ruled that he must refund.
Has he refunded, to the best of your knowledge?
That is the question we should ask ourselves.
Have you seen a report somewhere?
That is the question we should ask ourselves, that has he refunded? The other time you talked about unknown to law. I don't think you need a dictionary to know the meaning of when they say something is unknown to law. It means it never existed.
It's not in
It
existence.
didn't come to life. So with this judgment, what the court has
Although
just
it could
said,
have happened, but law is allowed to say it is unknown to us.
Yes.
But everybody saw it happen. But
Yes.
because it didn't happen in the right way, the court can say it's unknown to law.
because
Okay.
things must be done according to law.
Indeed. Mazi Okorafor, good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. Good morning, our guests in the studio.
Good morning.
You see, sir, there are certain things I want us to look at. Now, when we talk about certificate problem, we talk about right from this point of registration,
Yes.
and which computer center, or is it internal or external? If it's internal, it's a school exam. If it's external, it's a private candidate exam. So these are the two things we are supposed to look at when we talk about certificate problem. But the situation whereby in a country where we find ourselves, right now we don't know whether it's external or internal. Because why I'm asking this question is that as a private candidate,
Yes.
you go to WAEC or NECO and collect your result results. But internal, the school will give you. So we don't know exactly which one do we follow. So I would have loved the court or the plaintiff or the complainant to tell us so that we know exactly how to tackle this issue. Because there is no exam that you write without passport.
Yes.
No signature, no filling of form. They should go and trace all those things before we talk about the certificate, because they're supposed to meet consultants who knows exactly what have to do with the certificate problem, or people who are into the school authority. Thank you very much. I have a blessed day in Lagos.
Thank you very much, Mazi. And even further complicating this whole matter, I think the NECO certificate entered into the conversation. That perhaps NECO. And then somebody pointed, NECO wasn't even in existence then.
NECO
wasn't even in existence then.
I think the last caller, Mazi, I think we need to make another clarification. And it is that when the Constitution sections 177 says secondary school, it didn't say you should have WAEC or you should have NECO or GC.
Yeah.
It said you must have attained from 1 to from 5. Secondary education, that's what
isn't it that certificate that will show that?
Even if you have passed, assuming you got to Form 5, you couldn't write WAEC. At least when you are leaving the school authorities will give you a certificate that X candidate has completed secondary school education.
That's called testimonial.
That's just
the paper that
you can't bring that one.
No, it's a confirmation that you have secondary school education. Yes,
but that's not the result.
No. It's not about results.
Okay.
It's not about results. Secondary education.
First of all, we're going to round off because Comrade Nelson has begun to go into the law, and I feel much more comfortable when a couple of lawyers are here. But I take note of what you've just said. That there could be a difference between spending 5 years in secondary school and actually getting a certificate that you pass secondary school leaving certificate. Barrister Comrade Nelson.
I think he's a lawyer, so...
Well, I want to thank you very much. They say we've got to wrap up. Can I just thank you, as always, for your insightful comments. Nelson Ekunjimi.
Thank you very much.
Human rights activist and public affairs analyst. And Babatunde Desmond Ojo, congratulations on winning your election to represent Oriade constituency in Osun State. You're also an architect, and in a few short weeks, you'll be a bona fide honorable.
By the grace of God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's our program. Please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I'm Yori Folani. Bye-bye for now.